calling from Disney. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Annie. I'm so excited to talk to you. How are you doing?
Oh, good. I am good, thanks. And of course, I am calling for that telephone interview for the Disney College program. So is this still a good time for you?
This is a perfect time.
Perfect. All right. Well, then we will plan to be together here about 20 minutes or so. I'm just going to ask you some questions and learn about you and your work experience. We'll talk about the roles that you're interested in. And then if you do have questions for me, I will try to answer those before we go. Okay?
Awesome. Sounds perfect.
All right, Brina. So just to confirm some information here, it looks like you're sophomore at our college science blocks.
Yes.
Right. And have you worked for the Disney before?
I have not yet.
Are you currently an international student studying in the U.S. already?
I'm not.
All right. As you might be aware, all the rules in our customer stores do require you to wear a costume and comply with the Disney look and appearance guidelines. Are you familiar with those? Did you need any review?
I am familiar. I do have a nose piercing, but I'm more than willing to take it out.
Sure. Okay. So we'll follow your specific guidelines, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then just a costume for the Disney class. Do you have any tattoos or piercings or eye modifications, ear gauges, dermal piercings, anything that would be visible outside the tank top and mid-thigh length shorts?
Just a nose piercing, no other piercings or tattoos.
Okay. And piercings, no piercings for Disney, you have to make sure those are removed for work. So you are represented then?
Yes.
All right. So then that is the only modification we share. Some of the rules also require you to operate a vehicle. Do you have a valid U.S. driver's license?
I do.
All right. Well, I see that you are interested in either Disneyland College for Orlando, Florida, or Disneyland College for California, but if you pick, you would pick Florida, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And if not, you chose in the 7 months recommended season as your first choice, and then our 5 month spring program as your second choice. Is that still correct?
That is correct.
Have you had a chance to read those specific arrangements for today's job posting?
I have.
Okay. Are you receptive to all of those dates?
I am.
Perfect. All right, Rena, well, this is a reminder. Those dates are subject to availability at the time of acceptance, okay?
All right. Perfect.
All right. So I know you said that you have lived independently before. Have you lived with roommates?
I have. I had 2 roommates my freshman year here, and I am living with one other girl right now.
Sure. Okay. Well, at Disney, you could be living with anywhere from 1 up to 7 roommates with you in an apartment, depending on where you lived, and that could include students from all over the world. So how would you manage that? If you're living with maybe several people that you may not know and working full-time and taking classes all at once?
Well, I think definitely the most important thing with any roommate situation is just communication. I think it makes it a little bit easier at Disney because, we're all there with a great love for the Disney company, so we already have a lot in common. And so I think as long as we're all receptive to each other's wants and needs and we're just open with communication and make sure that no conflicts go a long time without getting resolved, I think we'll all be having a good time together.
So then think about that then. If you did have a disagreement with a roommate, how would you handle that?
Well, I have been extremely lucky to be great friends with my roommates both last year and this year. The only time that we ever had any kind of disagreement was we were a bit unclear about guests, and so there was a little bit of discomfort with how many guests were over at the room and at what times. And so me and my 2 other roommates, we just got together one night and laid out some ground rules, and we had a curfew for guests, and once we talked about it and were just open with our feelings, we never had any other issues.
Well, it's always good when it works out. So,
yes.
So you are comfortable approaching the issue and the roommate and discussing it then?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I know that there are a lot of internships out there. So why Disney? Why this program?
Well, my first trip to Disneyland a couple years ago, I just really appreciated how special and how magic the cast members made my trip. And so I would just love the opportunity to be a part of such a great company like Disney and get to play a part in creating that magic that I got to feel for other guests while also learning about the company and developing some more life skills.
Oh, sure. It sounds like you had a great time.
I did.
And that was at Walt Disney World?
Disneyland. I have not had the opportunity to go to Disney World yet.
Okay, sure. Well, either way, I'm glad you had a great time, for sure. Now, I can see the work experience you shared on your application, working as a cashier at Phillips Candies, and also working with the Cones and Candy Shop. Is there any other work or volunteer experience that you wanted to share?
There is not. I have been very busy with working those 2 retail stores.
I understand. All right. Well, keep all that in mind then as we're talking just about some things that we do focus on at Disney. Again, if you went to Disneyland, hopefully you saw that we really focus on guest service. So think about your work and tell me about a time that you handled a difficult situation with a guest or a customer.
Well, I remember one time while I was working at Sweeterts, I was working the front register, and I had a customer come up to me and he was requesting one of our Oreo caramel apples, and I had to let him know that we did not have any in stock right at that moment. And he didn't react super well. He said that he had called ahead and ordered that flavor and was promised we had it. And I was a little bit confused, so I just asked him which number he called, and I realized that our store has multiple locations, and he had actually called another location, and so they had his apple. We did not have the apple, but I would talk to him a little bit more, and he told me that he was getting the apple for a friend's birthday gift, so he really wanted it that day. And of course I wanted to make that happen, so I had one of my coworkers take my spot at the front register, and I actually went over to the little production area and I made him a caramel apple right there for him and wrapped it up, and he was very grateful for that. So
I'm sure he really appreciated that.
yeah.
Okay. All right, well, what about safety? How do you make safety a priority every day at work?
Well, safety is always really important, and we had a couple things that we like to do at work just to keep things safe. We had certain locations that we would keep knives and any sharp objects to make sure nobody was, stumbling on a knife or anything. And we had a saran wrapper that we always made sure was turned off, and we weren't allowed to touch it until we were trained on it. And so I just think having a certain place and training for anything that might be dangerous is definitely the first step in taking safety as a priority.
Repeat that last sentence. I'm sorry, I missed that one.
Oh, it's okay. I just said that having proper training and proper placement for things is the first step in making safety a priority.
Sure. So proper training and things like that. Are there any procedures that you all follow at the candy shop, for example, that help to keep people safe?
Yeah, when we were cutting the caramel apples, we had a certain way of cutting them to keep our hands out from underneath the blade of the knife, just to make sure there were no incidents.
Mm-hmm. Okay then. So then, thinking about our Disney work environment, you could be working indoors or outdoors, or hot and cold temperatures. We cannot guarantee it either way. So are you receptive to working in any environment and standing and walking for long periods of time?
Oh, I definitely am. There were times at work that the air conditioning would go out and the chocolates would start melting, and you just take a cold cup of water and power on.
Understood. Now, do you have any times in the shop where it's really busy, or maybe you have those periods where you have a lot of customers come in at one time? Can you picture that?
Yes.
Okay, so think about that. Tell me about your comfort level working in that busy environment.
I actually am the type of person that I personally think that I thrive when it's busiest. Having a lot of stuff to do and a lot of customers to help really keeps my energy levels up, and I am lucky enough to be a pretty good multitasker, and so I definitely like when it's a very fast-paced environment at work.
Okay, so you enjoy that then?
Yes.
All right. Now, in any role that we have, of course, there are those times where you're going to find yourself slowing down, doing some of those other tasks where you could be stocking shelves, or you might be folding merchandise or rolling silverware, things that can be very repetitive. How do you stay interested in tasks like that?
Yeah, so I think the most important thing about staying on the task when it's repetitive is either making some kind of game or a task for yourself and just staying focused. And if it were to come to something like a spiel as an attendant or an attractions attendant, I think the most important thing is to keep in mind that while it might be an everyday job for you, it might be the guest's first time. And so I would definitely just think of making magic for the guest rather than thinking about what I might be doing that is repetitive.
Okay, so you're able to stay interested and engaged in those tasks?
Yes.
What about working in a team or working independently on your own? Are you open either way?
I am definitely flexible with both. I am able to work independently, but I definitely prefer to work in a team environment. I just think I work better when I have coworkers to kind of bounce ideas off of and make sure that we're getting everybody helped out, and just knowing that I have someone who can help me if I need anything is really helpful for me.
Okay, but you are open either way if that's the case?
Yes.
All right. Okay, well, I do want to just take a few minutes here and touch on some of the roles that you applied for specifically. We don't talk about every single one, but just to cover some of the unique features or unique categories, one thing that we do have is some roles that focus in with cash handling. So they use cashier skills quite a bit. Is that something that you're comfortable with from your previous experience?
Yes, I have a lot of experience working with cash and with cash registers.
Okay. So, for example, if you worked in quick service food and beverage, you might be working with, helping the guests, taking their orders, things like that. And then you also could be helping to prep and cook some food. So, tell me about your comfort level working with food in a kitchen environment.
Well, I don't have a ton of formal experience working with food, but I did help with making some items at both candy stores. I would help out with making caramel apples and caramel corn and dipped items, and so I think I could catch on to the methods for making anything I might need to make pretty easily.
Okay. And in that role, you also could be working at an outdoor cart. So are you comfortable with pushing and pulling and lifting, receptive to that?
I am.
Okay. And some of the skills are very similar working in merchandise at Disney because we do have retail locations that offer food. So you still could be handling and serving food or working in a production kitchen where we do cook foods like peanut brittle and candy apples right in front of the guests. So that might sound familiar to you.
Yes.
And we also do have locations that we rent out strollers and wheelchairs. So you might be doing some of that lifting and pushing and pulling as well. Are you receptive to all of those responsibilities within merchandise?
Yes, I definitely am.
Okay. All right. Now, I did notice that you had a low interest in our lifeguard position. Tell me a little bit about your swimming skills.
I swam a little bit when I was younger, but I haven't swam recently, so I'm not sure how strong of a swimmer I would be, but I would be open to learning if it was a position that needed to be filled for sure.
Okay, sure. So in terms of that role, anyone who is offered that lifeguard position does have to pass a lifeguard certification test upon arrival, so just so you're aware of that, okay?
Okay.
Now, our custodial team, I know you have a moderate interest in that. In terms of those responsibilities, obviously with the cleaning responsibilities, also those cast members talk quite a bit with our guests throughout the day. So tell me what about that role is interesting to you?
Well, like you said, there's a lot of customer interactions, and I know that when I visited Disneyland, there were a lot of custodial members who came and talked to me, and I was wearing a birthday pin, and they all said happy birthday, and it really made me feel special, and it was something I really remembered about my trip, and it made the magic happen for me. And so I think it would be very cool getting to impart some of those feelings on some of my guests.
Okay, so you would enjoy that for sure.
Yes.
Okay, and are you open to the extensive cleaning responsibilities that would include restrooms and toilets and emptying trash cans and those types of things?
I am.
Okay. All right. Now, Brina, I know that you had several other roles on your list that are at a high interest, whether it be attractions or convention guide or being a seater in a restaurant. Pick something about those roles. Tell me why that those made it to the top of your list.
Well, I think definitely my top 3 roles are character attendant, merchandise, and attractions. And I think what all those have in common is they are very high customer interaction areas. And I think that the interactions that a guest has with a cast member is definitely what makes their trip magic. And I would really like the opportunity to make some of that magic happen for them while maybe helping them do something that they have been looking forward to, whether it's going on a ride or meeting that special character or buying a piece of merch that they've had their eye on all trip. I just think all 3 of those roles would really help create some magic for the guests.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing all of that. I know that, in attractions, for example, there's a huge safety element there, of course, as there is everywhere with Disney. But in attractions, you are basically responsible for keeping all of our guests as well as the cast members in that location safe. How do you feel about that responsibility?
Oh, I think it's very important.
Okay. And also in that role, you might be basically spieling on a microphone to large groups of people. How do you feel about that public speaking element as well?
I actually love public speaking. I have done drama since I was as young as I can remember, and I have also been a part of a speech club, and I've taken speech classes and improv classes, so I'm very comfortable making speeches to large gatherings of people.
Okay. All right, and in terms of your theater experience, of course, I know that there is a costuming operations on your list that is at a moderate interest. In that role, you do assist performers in various stages of dress and undress while changing their costumes. Are you receptive to that?
I am.
Okay, and in that role, again, you are making magic for people, but your guests tend to be our cast members rather than the guests in the park. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I think it would still be very cool. I would love any opportunity to work for Disney, and even if it may not be as obvious to the guests, I know that that is still a very important part of creating the magic.
Okay. All right, well, I know that it's just a handful of the roles that are on your list there, Brina, but just so you're aware, you are going to be considered for any role that you express any interest in, okay?
Okay.
So based on the descriptions in the role checklist and the roles discussed today, are you able to perform the essential functions of the roles with or without a reasonable accommodation?
I am.
All right. Well, Brina, those are all the questions that I have for you right now. So just to share a bit about what happens from this point, we do send communication to your dashboard on the Disney Career Portal. And just be aware that there are no changes to that dashboard until a final decision has been made. But you can check the status of your application anytime just by checking those notifications on your dashboard. There's a little bell in the upper corner where you can see that. We do make decisions continuously over the course of our season, but truly it could take us maybe another 2 or 3 weeks to really get through all those final decisions. So I would just tell you to check that dashboard every couple of days. Make sure you don't miss any communication, because if you are accepted, that's where you would get all that information about an offer. All right?
Sounds good.
Brina, do you have any other questions for me today before we go?
I do, actually. So
Okay.
I am hoping to, in the future, get a degree in veterinarian animal studies and work with large game in zoos. I was wondering if, as a CP member, there would be an opportunity for any types of seminars or tours on animal care in the animal kingdom.
Well, that is a really exciting area in our world at Disney, for sure. And I can tell you that the offerings change from season to season. There are times where we offer professional development opportunities in different departments. It could be anything from Imagineering to entertainment to animal programs like you're interested in. It just does vary from semester to semester. So best thing you'd want to do is, if you were on the program, you'd want to tell your leader in your location about your interests. And you also might want to, keep your eye on all those different opportunities that come through our housing department with professional development. And I'll tell you, in the meantime, if you go to the Disney Programs blog, it does talk quite a bit about some of the classes that we offer and things like that. And, if you were offered a role and you accepted it, part of that acceptance process is expressing interest in any of our classes. And so if there was anything that met up with those interests of yours, you'd want to, possibly think about that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else I can answer for you?
I think that is going to be it for today.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me. I really appreciate that, Brina.
Thank you for taking the time to talk to me, Annie.
You're welcome. I hope you have a magical day.
You as well. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.